Due to the rebels' continued disturbances, I've decided to install a coded access system into all of the domes. That's gotta be it. Find a fresh page to write on. Horizontal, yeah, it's 5 digits. Horizontal line is 5. The sunrise symbol is not on my list? Wait, these are really weird. Vertical line and let's just write them all down individually for now. Like they're symbols as opposed to what they translate to. Because this might take more to figure out than I expected. Surprisingly hard to write, damn it. The symbols got really weird and they're surprisingly hard to write down with proper clarity, so I'm just drawing them gargantuan on this piece of paper right now to make it absolutely clear what I'm drawing. The K shape on one side and the curve on the bottom. The fourth one is a vertical line and then the box shape, but it's coming out of the top somehow. And the last one is this, it's the dome shape coming out of the left and a box coming out of the top right. The question is, how does this correlate with my number system so far? Could a box even come from that direction before? So far the boxes have come from the bottom right. Looks like exclusively. Okay, how do you work? The horizontal one is 4. The first one's easy. The first one's just 4. Let's see. We know that they're... If it goes into the dome things, those things are in intervals of 5. So it's numbers that are up to and including the number 25, I believe. Could be the answers to these things. Which is interesting because we only know numbers 1 through 10. The issue is, what does it mean when they change orientation? Like, for example, the second symbol looks like 7, but in the number 7, the dome thing is on the left instead of the bottom. But now it's on the bottom? Which works completely differently from anything else so far. Meanwhile, the dome can be on the bottom in the case of 10. So, in the second one's case, maybe it's the number 10 plus a vertical line. Was there a vertical line? There's a vertical line in the form of 11. So if the second symbol is not in the form of 11, there's a vertical line in the form of 1. So if the sunset shape, if this curve plus that dash is 10 plus 1, then that would be 11. Can't do that with other things, though. This second symbol is the K shape, which is 3, plus the dome shape, which is, that'd make it 13. Get back to writing these down. The first symbol might be 5. Second symbol might be 11. Third symbol might be 13. Let's see, the base numbers of the other thing are 1 and 2. But I don't know what the top right box means. But it's +1 and +2 if this is how this works. We could use the logic from before. In the marble puzzle, I used a marble I hadn't seen before as the last one because it had to be one of two things. If we can use the number... If we can put a curve on the bottom to make something like 10 through 19, then what if a box in the top right corner is 20? That would make those numbers 21 and 22. Worth a shot. Closest place to test it's like next door. So if the box in the top right corner equals 20, then that would make sense because I established that the number range is the numbers... Here we go. The number range is the numbers 1 through 25 based on the number of slots that exist. Can I leave, please? There we go. So based on the number of slots on these things, there's likely 25. At the time, I thought it was a 5-digit code, but they might just be all input on the same thing, because the numbers immediately exceed 5, so it can't be a 5-digit code that all goes into each individual section. Let's try this. So the highest number is 22. So 22, 21, 13, 11, 5. Oh, there we go. Well, now what's happening? Linking book? Yes? Yes. Linking book. To where, exactly? Oh, it's like in Gain's book. Yeah. His book had these mountains on top of mountains. I thought it was just an X-ray diagram of some kind of shape, but no, that's... He made mountains that are shaped that way. That don't make no sense, but he's got magic, world conjuring powers, so I guess that's the explanation. Look at this thing spinning in the middle. Well, let's go on an adventure. This is a cage. Oh, hey, look. Oh. Do these link with each island? Doesn't work. Let's see, the one I used was on Crater Island. No, that's the one I just used. I was thinking maybe they don't work because I haven't activated them from the other side, but that's the exact one that would have worked, actually. That's the island I was just on. None of you work. That's the big island, L-shaped island, Crater Island, Dome Island. Ooh, you're the one I want. You'll take me somewhere new if I can get you to work. Okay. I don't know why they're not working right now, but that's the one I want. If I'm gonna get to that new island I haven't been able to visit yet, that's the book I want to use. Can I look around? Weird view outside. That was a button, I think?
I apologize for the cage. I'm afraid this situation has often required of me a more primitive code of conduct than I might otherwise have chosen. I am Gen. I assume you've heard of me. Yes. Well, I suspect you have acquired some false information of who I am now. Not that my son would have lied to you about me. No, not Atris. It's just that, well, I'm sure he believes me to still be the depraved father I once was. Yes. I even tried to kill him once. God, if I had accomplished that, who knows what I would have become. A great father indeed, who tries to murder his own son. Thankfully, he trapped me on age 5, a prison of my own creation. No books, no precious inks, no ages to link to, nothing but my own foolish ambitions. That was 30 years ago. 30 years, 30 lifetimes, what does it matter? No sentence could be too harsh for the man I was. But I have changed. To be sure, the deeds of my past can never be completely atoned for, but my mission was an honorable one. I'm sorry, this is all a bit awkward. It's been a long time since I've attempted to persuade anyone of my intentions. Most of the people here have already made their minds up about me one way or another. I myself do not trust the words of most men, so I don't expect you to believe me. In the end, though, you may discover that I do have more than mere words to offer. Atris's choice of punishment has been hard on the people of Riven, and many have suffered because of it. The island has been steadily decaying for years, but according to my most recent measurements, it appears that the 5th age has entered its final days. Unless the villagers can be relocated soon, the island will collapse entirely and everyone will perish. It has taken me a long time to do it, but it appears that finally I'll be able to make some substantial amends to my past transgressions, especially in... well, I'm afraid I've had some trouble with Catherine and the moiety. In any society, there will always be a small percentage of the population with rebellious tendencies. Before Catherine appeared, the moiety, as they call themselves, had been relatively harmless. I mean, the natives here are a fairly violent people by nature, but I'd almost come to accept their presence. It seemed inevitable under the circumstances. Upon Catherine's return, however, their violence intensified considerably. It seems she's become some sort of religious savior to them. And as far as I can tell, she's come to believe this herself. So I've had no alternative. I had to separate her from her people. I must admit, though, that my concerns were not entirely for her safety alone. The actions of Catherine and the moiety have put my own life at risk on numerous occasions. Consequently, the lives of all the people here. Therefore, I must ask you to refrain from any attempt to free her. Although I'm sure Atris desires it. Indeed, he must desire it with all his heart. But he is completely unaware of her recent state. Which brings me to the point of all of this. The linking book you brought with you. You're very fortunate to have recovered it. If I may. Thank you. Perhaps it would be best if you went through first.
Oh, there's a trap.
You may need some time to decide. That is reasonable. Until then, as a token of my good intentions, I will allow you free access to my linking books, crude though they may be, and to the rest of the Fifth Age. Please understand, there is nothing I want more than a chance to resolve matters between Atris and myself, especially in light of what has become of Catherine. But unless you are willing to demonstrate to me that your intentions are honorable, I cannot risk it. The sanctuary I've been writing for the Islanders is nearly complete. After all these years, it would be a shame if I were unable to finish it. The work I am doing is quite demanding. Please don't signal me unless you've decided to use the book. The switch will reset itself once you link from here.
Well, I really should have seen that coming. So now, for a second game in a row, we have two characters that are competing for our opinion, essentially, and we don't know for sure which one. There's the switch. Which one might be more responsible or telling the truth or whatnot. We're here to stop this guy. He's supposed to be a monster. He's supposed to be dangerous. He has been here for 30 years. I mean, especially with the American jail system and also many other jail systems, like the whole point of punishment like this is supposed to be under the assumption that people will like actually be rehabilitated. Otherwise, it's literally pointless, because you're not, like, if you're not rehabilitating people, then the idea of a sentence that ends is kind of pointless. But I'm stuck here because I wasn't there when things went down, so I don't know the exact events sometimes. I only have some retellings and some various stories from different people that of varying levels of reliability and accuracy. And so now he's saying that Catherine was the problem, and it's not entirely impossible that she may be doing something wrong and he may be reformed and so on. But there's a pretty strong chance that he's not, especially with the way that he tried to test the linking book on me. Seems to suggest that he's not entirely trustworthy, and maybe it was like he thought maybe it was a trap and was willing to sacrifice me into it, which is a concern of its own level. But yeah, he does seem to be immediately suspicious. You're curious though, because you're the book location I've never been able to visit yet. The final island. Hello. Oh yeah, that even has the symbol. Which symbol is that again? 98, I think? 93. The symbol basically says 93. Or just 93, I suppose? Because now we've had... His other symbols had compound symbols, but if this was 93, it would just be the two back to back. I don't know. There's a few permutations of the rules to still figure out. But hey. Oh, there we go. There's a floor button. I'm like, how do I leave this place, actually? I'm like, I'm in. I gotta not be in, though. That's kind of important. Oh my god, that was some really weird video corruption. Oh god. Like, my eyes, they're melting. Reality's melting. Well, isn't this nice? Pristine, clear water. Oh yeah, this thing that's always here. Ah, for our own sake, let's just do it. Recognize the last symbol, even though we've already solved it, just for completion's sake, I suppose. Vertical eye with a dot. That's blue. Yep. There's the last piece of the puzzle. But you could only get... So you had to guess, huh? Yeah, you had to process of elimination a little bit because you couldn't have gotten here otherwise. Because I had to solve that puzzle to get here, but now I'm here. Like, but in order to view that, you have to already been past it. Weird. Okay. There's a little triangle above me to pull, or there's these little things. Combination, and you? What do you do? Oh, you take me somewhere.
You made it. But how'd you get past Gen? He must really believe I've gone mad. I know what he's doing. He's watching you. He's waiting for you to make a mistake. He's hoping you'll lead him back to Dunny. You can't let Gen... Atris sent you to save me. But if Gen gets back to Dunny, he'll kill him. I think I know how to signal Atris, but it's going to take both of us. You'll have to trap Gen before you can get the combination. Be careful. Go then. If you won't help me, then I have nothing more to say.
Don't have my mouse back yet. Not quite. There it is. Alright. We should probably save. Endings, maybe, soon? I don't know what we're walking into, but we're finding both of the characters we're here for. And we've explored so much of the island now, I'm wondering if, like... There may be some branching endings here soon, so I gotta make a save so I can... If I screw up, I have a reliable place to go back to find the real ending. She walked by, which means I've lost mouse control now. There we go. So what's your deal exactly? I'm racking my brain for other combinations I've seen throughout the game to see if any of them would make sense here. Well, I don't know what to do with you yet, so let's head out. Well, I just saved. Oh. Let's look at my notes then. Apparently I need to re-enter this every time. There we go. 13. 11. 5. I figure I just saved. I might as well just see what happens if I touch the book, right? Maybe he'll just like, oh, what if that's the trick? Maybe he sees me reach for it. He's like, ha, ooh, you almost got it. It must actually work. And then he like tries to use it himself. It's like, aha, it was a fib. I fibbed at you with my fibbing powers. Or maybe not. But I didn't. If this doesn't work, I need to figure out where the hell else to go. Because she says to capture gain. And I'm trying to think of like what loose end puzzles even exist on Riven anymore. I feel like I've gotten pretty far down the path at this point. Mister? Oh, mister? Come out, come out. Is that... Oh yeah, I remember moving the mouse to get it out of the way. That's probably why the mouse showed up, is because you could click. You normally don't have a mouse during cutscenes.
I'm relieved you've returned. I thought perhaps you had decided against it. Here, I shall follow you directly.
Here we go. What? That's how the trick works, is that you trick him into... You trick him into going into the book by just going in yourself, and then it switches place. Right. Right. In the first game... I looked up the alternate endings afterwards, because I was done with the game, and I was like, oh, if you made the mistake of going into one of the books, then the brothers would get kicked out. It's like if you released one of the two evil brothers from their books, you would get stuck in their place. So by luring him in, I get let back out, and he gets to go in. Not visibly in there. Is it just turned down now? Huh. Are these the inks he was working with? Bone broth ink. Concern. There's a beetle. The button doesn't work? Okay. Sure. Just his tools, right? So that's it. We trapped Gain. That's the plan. We're supposed to signal out now. What's going on in here, though? Any cool stuff? Right. Turn that back on. That's the furnace. This must be the furnace that powers all of the... recognize that sound. That powers all the journals. The linking books work whenever that's on.